Have you been thinking about that you are much more than a mom and you want to really be successful in your career and also motherhood, but sometimes you just feel stuck and it's hard to choose the path that fits your family needs, and there is a lot of possibilities after becoming mom. What's your perspective in your career? And it's just hard sometimes to seem to choose the way you go. And I've been there because I went through time where I really got stuck in my career. I didn't like what I was doing. And then with motherhood, once I became a mom, I really faced the challenges of motherhood, and I felt that I need to focus more on how do I see my career and so. And then I was looking online to look for some advices and help working moms. Is there any good tips, especially here in Germany? So I started looking in German and English and so, and I found this book, which is Working Mom, which is 20 tools for returning to work, by Katrin Bringmann, who is a career coach with more than 10 years experience, who has been working with companies for more than 20 years in order to support them in coaching, consulting, as well as she was also teaching. So really a broad experience in the leadership and personal development career-wise. And I couldn't not invite her because I was really inspired about her book. I was impressed about the quality of the process where she is taking a woman, a mom returning to work after a long leave, to finding her way and what tools that can help her to do so. So I'm very happy today to welcome Katrin Bringmann with me in the live. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Katrin. How are
Hello,
you?
Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm fine. Thank you. Thanks for the nice introduction.
Thank you for joining us today with Thriving Career Moms.
Sure.
Can you just tell us what inspired you to do this book, or what passionates you to do what you are doing as to help people and so?
Yeah. Okay. So I think one of the motivations to write this book was that I had a lot of coachees and a lot of clients, and most of them had problems to get back to work. I mean, not problems as far as organization or structure is concerned, but it's more about the inner mindset, you know. And I know this from myself, and that was the second motivation to write the book, because I know from my time when my kids were very small, and I had been, a university teacher and facilitator before that, and that was, thriving. It was all good. I had a good career, and then after the kids, especially after my daughter, I stayed at home for 3/4 of a year, nearly a year then, and I had the impression that I had forgotten everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had the impression that my whole career was gone with the wind. No, gone with a little baby. I don't know. And that was another thing that I was thinking about. I looked at my documents and I thought, I delivered this and I, did this training or workshop. No way. And so my mindset was completely on feeding my child, being with my child, playing with my child, trying to make it feel good, the whole family feel good. And my self-expectance as far as career was concerned was very low. And that was the idea later on. I mean, at that time, I didn't have the time to write a book, of course. But later on, when the kids were bigger and older, I thought, okay, now I'm going to write down the tips that helped me at that time.
Nice. And so after you switched your career from working with companies to starting your own business after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've always been doing both. So, but then I did a coaching formation, and after that, I went more into the field of coaching. But I tried to do both at the same time. Only the topic has changed, of course. Beforehand, I was coaching CEOs, for example, people in companies, and now I switched. So you're right there. I switched to another target group: young women, older women, women in general, and especially moms who want to find or refine their career path.
That's nice. And what brings you joy when you are doing this like work? What inspires you and passionates you really? One thing like that makes you happy.
When I have the feeling that I can really help people and support them, so that at the end of a coaching they say, "Oh my God, this was, you helped me so much. I know now exactly which step I have to take." This is what makes me happy.
Yeah, nice. The other question that I want to ask you is like, as you help moms, as you said, finding that career path that they like to do, how going through motherhood, there is a gap in the resume, taking 1 year and more. And oftentimes, especially for those who don't have a job, but going back to the market after that parental leave, there is the mindset that how can I leverage that gap, and we feel a bit shy about it. What do you think is the right perspective, the positive way to look into that gap and leverage it?
So, do you mean the gap of
The
being
gap,
a mother? The motherhood gap?
exactly, like the motherhood gap, exactly.
I would never call it a gap because, in my opinion, it is not a gap, but it's very full, and a gap means there's a hole in a way. But of course, I know what you mean. Well, myself, I always tried to put the children first in the means of, I talked about my children very first thing when I met a new, client or employer or whatever. So I never tried to hide them. And I think that's also, I had a lot of interesting discussions with people, especially from Berlin, young women from Berlin, who said, no, I would never tell somebody that I have kids because I think I will have a disadvantage then, in my career path. And I think it's the other way around. You learn so much being a mom or being parents. This is the same for dads, of course, although they rarely leave their jobs, but that's another topic. So, I mean, we learn so much being a mom. It's not only raising children, it's also being responsible for the household in a way. Of course, the best thing is to share this, but let's be honest, in most families, this is not the case. So there must be one person who's responsible for what's going on, also with the kids and the kids' hobbies and school and homework and so on. So you learn so much there. You learn communication, you learn authority, you learn how to coordinate different. I mean, it's project management in a way.
Yeah, project management and time management and
exactly. And so you learn. So time management especially. This is one of the things that you learn most. To use the little time you have for having the best out.
Effective, to be effective and get it done. Yeah,
exactly. And so I think don't call it gap. It's the best formation or the best training you can get. So it's very easy to explain. I have been the CEO of a company of 3 or 4 or 5 people, and I have been responsible for everything. That's your family.
Yeah,
but I think, to be honest, sorry to interrupt. I think it's nowadays it has become much more obvious, also to a lot of companies, a lot of employers, that women who have children, so moms, are very, very good employees.
That's
This is
good.
my
So
experience.
it's changing.
It is changing, absolutely. It used to be different, but I think it is changing because people see that, we have so many things that we learn being moms, and we can use them for being good employees.
Yeah. I saw your article, the article that was written once about family-friendly company, and how it's time to really focus on that and change, because it's over the time where moms are not bringing the advantage of having working moms in companies is clear, and
absolutely
there is a shift happening in companies. In the book, you talked about a mom going back to work after a long leave, who is Lisa, and she was you helped her through reflect and choosing what career path she fits her.
Exactly.
And here I want to ask about what advice would you give to a mom who is returning to work after a long time, and thinking especially about changing her career, because the before motherhood career feels like it doesn't fit her anymore, but she is somehow stuck and confused from where to start. What advice would you give her?
Well, I think there are clear steps that you could take. I mean, you could take. The first thing is become clear about what you have done so far. So, be sure of your career. What have you done? Also, in the years of being a mom, so even if it's 10 or 15 years or whatever, you have done something at that time. Maybe you were an active member at school, or you did some voluntary work, or you helped other children with their homework, or whatever. I mean, and you help yourself, your own children with their homework. So, and before your career as a stay-at-home mom, you had a career, so you did something. So I always think the first thing is to get the status quo. So what have you done so far? What is your formation? Are there any seminars you took, and so on? Because sometimes there are things that you don't know about anymore because you have been focusing so much on family matters. So yeah, I think first step, make sure that you know what you can do, what you're able at doing, and what you have done so far. Second step, then, very closely combined here, is make sure that you know what you really want and what you're good at, because really lots of women want to leave their old job in order to do something new, something with more,
fulfillment.
More fulfillment.
Challenging, exactly. Like something they enjoy more.
Like Lisa in my book, she used to be working in a bank, but after 10 years having the children and focusing on different things, she wants to leave this, and she doesn't want to get back there. So there's a shift also in lots of women who want to have a new career, and that's why the second thing is make sure you know what you're good at, your strengths, what your values are. These might change also being a mom, what you're good at, what where you see yourself, having a vision and things like that. That's the second step. And the third step is then learn, study, read, like you do now. You're reading my book. You're reading a lot of other books. You're giving on books on Facebook, and this forces you to learn a lot and enlarges your horizon. And this is, I think, the third thing. Try to have your eyes everywhere where your interest is. If you want, like Lisa, she wants to specialize in the food.
The food.
Exactly.
And bio food, and so.
And be healthy food and economically friendly food and so on. So she has to read a lot about this. She has to get into the topic. She has to focus on all these topics. And this means reading, mind mapping, being good at organizing the new knowledge. That's also a thing. And the third and the fourth thing is use your network. Even though you haven't been at work, I mean, okay, 10 years are 10 years, but in this time, Lisa must have met a lot of people, other women, other moms, people from her bank, lots of people from the school and so on. So I think you should throw away your shyness and walk up to people and say, listen, I'm looking for a job. Do you think you can do something for me? I'm going to explain to you what I want to do and so on. Because I mean, nobody will discover you. Nobody will come to your place and say, "Oh, you are the one to get the greatest job in the world." No, you have to find your career and you have to do everything about it. And I think networking in nowadays, with all these, possibilities of social networking, that's how we met. Didn't we? I mean, this is how we met. But it's also just calling people, telling them, look, I have done this and this and this. This is my career and this is what I want to do. Can you help me? Very simple. Either yes or no. Nothing can happen.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, to ask.
Yeah, exactly.
And also that's number, I think, 6 now.
Number 5.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be afraid to ask for help at home also, So we always had teenagers from around our neighborhood who took care of the kids when we had things to do, or whenever we wanted to have an evening out, something. Then you can have a company who delivers your food. I've never done this, but a lot of young families have a delivery company who brings them food and whatever, grocery shopping. You can, have somebody
delegate, automate.
Delegate, exactly, so that you have your precious time for these, career, for following your career path. That's the other thing.
Yeah, thank you so much for these 5 steps. They are really important. Then after, you mentioned mind mapping now when you are talking, and it was it's actually one of your domain expertise topic that you talked about. And also in the book, you mentioned it helping in different areas. How can mind mapping help a mom in order to find more balance and also advance her career?
Very interesting question. I would say I would start as a mom in this situation, not with a mind map immediately, but with a brainstorming. And the difference is that in a brainstorming, you put out all the ideas that are crossing your mind. So you put down, you note down everything that crosses your mind. And this is already very important, because otherwise there's too much in your head, and you can't look straight. I know this. When you start thinking about a certain thing and it just goes around and around, always around the same topics, write it down. Then it's gone out of your head. And then when you have this brainstorming about your new ideas or your new career, you can draw a mind map. That means to cluster the ideas and make topics out of them. And if you want to, I can show you the mind map that Lisa has drawn for her own career. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. So this is a typical mind map.
Yeah,
it's about healthy food, as we were saying, and then what can she do with it? She's not clear at the beginning, of course. How can she sell all the stuff? And so she draws a mind map. And I think a mind map makes it clear to you what is really important and what you should follow up. And on the other hand, the things that are not important, that you can cross out. Yeah. But I think, why mind map and not a to-do list could be a question. What is the difference? And I think mind mapping is much better because it's brain friendly. You don't think straight. You don't think in lines, and you don't think from left to right. Try to think one thought from beginning to the end. Doesn't work, because there's so much going on, and Whereas
Popping ideas,
a mind
popping
map,
up.
yeah, it adapts more to our natural way of thinking, and it's fun because you can use colors, as you could see. You can color
Yeah,
and you can draw and you can, you know, the people when I make people also managers, CEOs, leading persons, when I make them drawing mind maps, they always say, "Oh my God, I can't do this, and it's horrible." And at the end, they are so happy. I observe them while drawing their mind maps, and then at the end, they all have a smile on their face because it's just fun.
Yeah, I don't know, but we kind of don't go straight to writing and putting what is in our minds on papers. And once we
Yeah.
do it, it really makes a big difference. And yeah, thank you for this mind map about connection with the brain, because I myself do more like to-do list and write, but you inspired me to try mind mapping more, even in my to-do list, not only thinking about when I want my career and how I want it to be.
Yes, and also, Sarah, for you personally, because you love reading so much and you read so many books, I give you what I do. I always draw a little mind map of each book I read. So the topic in the middle, or the title in the middle, and then which topics is the author talking about, and so that at the end you can say you can give a 5-minute speech on the book just off the cuff. So it's very easy to keep your thoughts in order.
To not lose things, and also
try it out for the next book.
Okay, I will
do. I can highly recommend it.
Do you have any one most common challenge that moms face when they are returning to the workforce? Based on your experience with companies, what is one you can think of as a challenge and how it's being addressed?
You mean the biggest? There was a little. I didn't. It was a bit interrupted.
Yeah.
So is it the challenge that women have when they get back to work?
Yeah. Just one challenge. Yeah.
Not having a good childcare system. That's the biggest challenge. Because when the children are unhappy or not taken care of very well, or you're unsatisfied with it and you have the feeling, somehow my child is not doing good there, forget it. You won't be able to concentrate on your job. So I think childcare is first. And only when you have the feeling that everything is fine and the child is feeling good and is happy, and I think then you can start being good at your work. Otherwise you will have a lot of worries.
Yeah. Do you think there is any addressment by companies that you have been working with from this with this challenge specifically? Because it's really true. Childcare is the first thing I thought about when I want to return to work, but also want to be confident and happy with where my child is. Are companies trying to deal with this and solve it? And what's your?
It depends. Sorry to interrupt. It depends. I think in big cities, big progressive cities like Berlin, where you have startups and modernly thinking, CEOs and companies that are big, that are successful, that are very much looking forward. I think yes, they deal with it because they know that it's crucial. If you want to get well-trained people, men or women, both, you have to take care of childcare, or you have at least. I mean, they don't all have. I mean, they don't need to have a kindergarten or something like that, but they need to have the understanding of these worries. And maybe, I mean, there are lots of places where they even offer childcare. They offer a place in a kita, for example. I know a lot of places who do that, but it's a difference when you go into the country or into the south of Germany, or in smaller villages. No way. I think that's
understanding first. I really love the word understanding that the situation, and so because it makes a big difference already.
Especially, exactly. When you have as a mom, you have a bad conscience because it's the third time this year that your child is sick, and you don't have anybody to take care of. This is very bad because you don't dare to tell your boss, look, my child is sick and I need to stay at home. This must be normal, and everybody must say, sure, yes, take care of your child. That's the most important job in the world.
Yeah, hope it becomes more and more frequent in the workforce and with companies, and so.
Me too.
We only have just few minutes left. How can our listeners connect with you online? And if you have any project that you are right now excited about and you want to share with our audience.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes. So if you want to contact me, the easiest thing is about my web page, my homepage. It's www.𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐧. www.𝐁𝐫, like Katrin Bringmann, minus Neustadt.
Neustadt.de.
Or on Instagram, same name, and Facebook, same name. So just Katrin Bringmann, and you can connect there with me. And the project I'm working on now is a podcast. I've been doing a podcast for a year now with a very good friend of mine, and you can download it on iTunes or Spotify or under another web page. That's www. and then Elternbusiness _de.
Okay, this I will verify that I wrote it correctly after. The Elternbusiness.
Elternbusiness _de.
Okay.
And there are, our sessions are only 20 minutes, also very short sessions, episodes, and it's exactly about these topics. So how to get back to work.
So is it only for business owners or also for working parents?
Anybody. It's for anybody. It is meant for parents who work, but we have seen that there are a lot of older people who listen to it, and also men, of course, who listen to it, because it's general topics like how to say no, or how to combine sports and family. That is our latest.
That's the last one.
Yeah, exactly. Or how to get back to work, or how to find your new career path. So it's very hands-on. It's very practical, easy to understand, and it's a lot of fun. That's my latest. That's the newest thing I do, and I had to learn a lot because we do everything on our own. The podcast, the technical things.
That's really nice to provide a podcast with these topics. Thank you so much for being here again. And last, because I've been sharing always a quote or a motto that I love, would you share any quote that you like in your life, or a motto that you use? A quote, a saying, something that you always remember, if you have, or your own motto in life.
At the moment, I think a lot about having confidence is the most important thing. Confidence in yourself, confidence in the world, and confidence that everything will be fine in the end.
Thank you. Thank you for this final word.
I thank you, Sarah, for the invitation. It was great fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.